Yeah, okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Antara, and welcome to your ultimate guides to study in the UK. Today, we will be discussing about all you need to know before you plan to go to UK. And before we start, I'll just give a small introduction about myself. So my name is Antara Jahan, and I have been an educational consultant and a lecturer for over 5 years. So I have a very good experience in the student admissions field, and especially I have been associated with UK universities for a very long time. So I know exactly how they work and all the procedure and the process, starting from your application to your visas, and even after you land in the UK. So let us start without any further delay. The application process itself. All right. So for most of you who would want to go in for undergraduate courses, you can book up to 5 courses in any one application using the UCAS form. Now, speaking about UCAS forms, it is available online, and UCAS has a separate link altogether. It's a new website. It's a website they have especially for undergraduate courses in the UK. The good thing about using UCAS is that you can book up to 5 courses using one application. In contrast to postgraduate courses, the difference is you have to apply for one course going to the individual university's website. This is a bit of a hassle for undergraduate courses because this is a bit hassle for postgraduate courses because then you won't have because you don't have the option to make one application for all the universities. But in UCAS, you can make one application, you can draft one application for 5 courses using the only one application form. That makes it easy, but having said that, UCAS forms can be a bit complicated. Even though it looks very straightforward, there are some steps that you need to address to make sure that your application stands out from all other applicants. So we will discuss about your UCAS application, and we will discuss about how we can help you towards the end of the webinar. But let me continue. As I mentioned, in the postgraduate courses, you have, like for example, if you want to do your master's, you want to do your postgraduate diploma, or if you want to do even PhD, you have to apply to individual universities' website. And for that, you have deadlines, which I will discuss later. No rush. However, before you think of applying to any university, you have to make sure that you are eligible to apply to that university. And things is called eligibility requirements. So the first question you have to ask yourself is, am I eligible to apply to that university? For example, based on my qualification, based on my O-levels or A-levels or SSC, HSC, no matter which country you're from, the good thing about UK universities is that they all accept equivalencies. They have international equivalency, so you don't have to convert your degree to a UK degree, which is very different from Canadian ones. We'll not talk about Canada, we'll stick to UK. The good thing about UK is UK accepts your degree. You don't have to convert it to another degree. But having said that, UK only accepts equivalencies, but they all have their requirements. It depends which university you apply. For example, if you are applying in Oxford University or Cambridge University, for example, they're one of the best universities in the world. There, they would of course expect A star and A plus in your A-levels and in your O-levels or in your SSC, HSCs. But if you apply to normal universities, not like if they are not very high on the rank, but they are maybe top 10 university, even the top 10 universities accept A to C grades in your A-levels, and they will take equivalency of SSC and HSC. So you don't have to worry about converting your degree. There are more than 160 universities in the UK. So you have a lot of options to choose from. You don't have to stick to the to the more difficult ones. In fact, there are some universities who provide courses that even the top universities don't provide. So you have options to explore. And the good thing is, most universities in the UK, they have UK is known for being for having some of the best universities in the world. UK is known for being a student friendly country and not just a city. So because of that, you many universities in the UK actually have very lenient and very simple eligibility requirement that you can easily fulfill when it comes to your grades of your A levels and O levels and equivalent. The problem comes later. The issues start later, and it is when you have to draft the personal statement of your UK universities. No matter which country you apply in, you always have to have a personal statement with your application. What is a personal statement? A personal statement is, I advise to my students that a personal statement should not be more than 1 page. More than 1 page, if you want to write something, okay, maybe 1.5 page, but not more than 1.5 page. And the problem students face is that they always end up writing more than they need to. Okay. And this actually creates a negative impression on your students, on the admissions department, and we don't want that. So this is the first hurdle all students face for their application, the personal statement. Personal statements I will compare to a resume or a CV, which is many part of the countries we say CV. In Canada we say it's resume. So CV, just for you, as you apply in a job and you give your CV, I would say personal statement has the same role when it comes to university application. In university applications, especially in undergraduate courses, you don't need to give your resume, you just give your personal statement. In postgraduate courses, they want personal statement and also a copy of your resume. That creates a good impression. So coming back, personal statements I advise it should be 1 page long. Personal statement should say why you are interested to take that course. So why do you want to take that course? What makes you special? Okay, what really drives you to apply for that course? How will it help you in the future? How is it going to help you land a good job, etc.? What skills you have that make you the ideal candidate? So here, as I say, my students, you have to sell yourself. Just sell yourself, sell your skills in front of the admissions department. So what skills do you have? What do you have that makes you the perfect student for that course? You have to talk about your life experiences, because most undergraduate students won't be having much job experience. So you have to talk about your life experience. What happened in your life that made you choose this course? And the achievements you have achieved. It can be anything in your student life and even in your maybe if you have received some if you have done some extracurricular activities, or if you had some, I don't know, if you got awarded for some achievements. Yeah, you can also talk about that. Basically, personal statements are, you just have to build your image in front of the admissions department. You got to sell yourself, you got to build your image. Moving on from personal statements, we talk about references. So all applications, whether it's undergraduate or postgraduate, need to have a reference. They want references. It can be from your teachers, it can be from your employers. So if you have work experience, great. If you have your teachers, it's mostly teachers and professors and your lecturers in your student life, in your school life. So, but however, references cannot be family or friends. References should always be people you know professionally. Please make sure to contact your references beforehand. Some of my students I have seen struggle at the last moment. They always struggle while they're making the application. They reach out to their references, but unfortunately, the references are either not available, or references are not, maybe they are not agreeing to provide a reference. It can be their personal choice. You cannot force your teachers, right? So I have seen struggles. So I would always advise you to speak to your references beforehand. You should have at least 2 to 3 references in hand. I would say talk to 5 people in advance so that when the right time comes, you can knock to any 3 of your choice, right? Um, for UK universities, all UK universities application process have deadlines. It is very important to submit your application beforehand rather than submitting at the last moment, because admissions department keep getting applications every day. Once the slot opens, once the window opens, the responsible person, the staff, is continuously receiving applications, continuously granting applications, and continuously discarding applications. So the sooner you apply, the better chance it is to secure a place rather than waiting for the last moment, because that shows your interest, you see. So for most universities, especially University of Oxford, University of Cambridge, and for medicine, or if you want to study science and dentistry in the UK, the application deadline is 31st October of the academic year. For most undergraduate courses, the deadline is 31st January, which is considered on time. So if you submit by 31st January, you are considered to be submitting on time. You're not missing the deadline, you're just submitting on time, which definitely creates a good impression. For some universities, for arts and design courses, so for example, if you're applying for law degree or even for any art courses, the deadline is in March, 31st March. For the last deadline for undergraduate courses for most universities would be, the last deadline would be 30th June. So as I mentioned, you are considered on time if you apply before 31st January, but you're not missing the deadline. You will miss the deadline if you apply after 30th June. So what happens is, if you submit your application after 30th June, this deadline will automatically go into clearing. So you will not be guaranteed your first choice, because remember, you are applying through UCAS. All the undergraduate applications, you are going to apply via UCAS application form, and in that application form you have to state the number of your university. So your first university can be, I don't know, University of Oxford. Your second university can be University of Manchester, and then University of Bristol or whatever, right? So you're choosing your universities, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. So you will not be guaranteed your first choice. So your first choice can be University of Oxford, but because you applied after 30th June, you will not be guaranteed University of Oxford. You can be guaranteed, you can get the ones further below your list, maybe University of Manchester or Bristol. Okay, so it's very important, just to repeat myself, it is very important that when you are making an application, you take note of the last date of submission and do not wait for the last moment. Please submit your applications beforehand. So once you apply for your application, once you're submitting for your course, once you're submitting your application via UCAS or via your individual university websites, it's time to receive your offers. So we look at the bright side. Since you'll be applying for 5 universities in the same time for undergraduate courses, the good news is you will surely be accepted by at least 2 or 3 easily. Yeah, because you're betting for 5, so you will definitely manage to get 2 or 3 courses, universities easily. So for accepting the offers, for undergraduate courses, you have to accept your offer via the UCAS portal, and you will have your individual login details. So you go to your portal and then you check from time to time. For most UK applications, they decide within 3 weeks. I mean, 3 weeks to 1 month. It depends which university you're applying, but the minimum time is 3 weeks to 1 month. Some universities, actually in my own case, my university got back to me by 10 days. So it depends. It's actually the university. That's why I'm suggesting again and again to apply beforehand and not wait for the last moment. Because if you wait for the last moment, your students are not, you are going to get less chances of getting an offer immediately. It's going to take some time. So always and don't forget, there are many steps even after you get. In fact, the fun begins after you accept your offer. So there are lots of steps to fulfill. So always apply beforehand. So for postgraduate courses, your offer comes in your personal email. There's no application portal. It comes in your personal email. And even if you have to create a portal in the individual university website, your offer will always come in your email. So many students are not aware of conditional offers. So what is a conditional offer? For students who are planning to, who are already who are planning to credit transfer, if you are planning to transfer your credits, so for example, you're already an undergraduate student in your university in your country, and then now you have completed the first year, you have completed the second year. For the third year, you want to transfer your credits and you want to study in the UK. You can do that. Many students do that, and I believe it's a very good option as well. So university, when you apply for that university in the third year, or maybe if you're applying for a postgraduate degree, many universities will give you an offer, but they'll give you a conditional offer. So you will only get a place in that university, they will only accept you if you fulfill that condition. And what is that condition? 99% of times, the condition is a language score. So they will ask you that you have to get an IELTS 7 or a 7.5, and you have to get an undergraduate degree. Maybe you have to get a first class or a second class, and then they will give you the offer. So you are getting an offer, but it is conditional upon fulfilling the conditions they are giving you. You have to fulfill their conditions. 99% times, it is only the language problem that students face. Coming to the language test, the most important part of the application process is making sure that you are eligible, that you fulfill their language test requirement. If you want to study in the UK, they want to see an evidence that your English is good enough to take an English course, to study an English course. So the most common tests in UK is the IELTS and the TOEFL. Most students go for the IELTS because they're relatively easy than TOEFL. Most universities will ask for either a 6.5 or a 7. Sometimes I have seen some universities, they also agree for a 6. They might be lower in rank, but they accept a 6 as well. So before accepting your offer, you have to check your options. So if you got many offers at the same time, don't jump in excitement. You get all excited and you want to just choose, okay, I got an offer from there, just accept it. Don't do that. Take your time, because universities will give you a chance. They will give you a deadline, just like you complied to the deadline of the application process. You will also get a deadline before you got to accept your offer. So you don't have to accept straight away. You can take, they will clearly state in your email that you receive. They will tell you whether you get it for maybe you have to accept your offer within 3 days, or maybe 1 week, maybe 10 days. Don't think if you are delaying to accept your offer, you're losing your chance. No, you're not. You're just taking your time, and it's completely fine. So if you gotta check, so the first thing, you gotta check your options. If you got multiple offers, what do I mean by checking your options? By checking your options, I mean, now that you have already got the offer, I want each of you to explore, go to the university website, explore where the university is, explore the city where it is, explore the culture, and most importantly, you gotta explore the expenses. So it is because not all cities in the UK have the same expenses. London is expensive. Bristol is even more expensive. Manchester is cheap. Cardiff is okay, medium. Birmingham is very cheap. So it depends which university, which part of the country you want to go to. Usually the northern parts are considered cheaper than the central parts. The centrally located parts are more expensive. So by saying all this, what I'm trying to mean is that you gotta see where your university is located, and you have to see whether the city it's student friendly or not, whether it's safe or not, and whether it will accept the culture you are from. Acceptance is very important. No matter, it can be the best university in the UK, but if you are not accepted culturally in that city, that is a problem. For that, you got to do your research. And another most important thing for any issue, for any application, is that money matters. So once you accept your offer, you can accept your offer by just a click. So you just click and you accept the offer. Done. If you think it's done, no, it's not. You gotta pay a deposit fee to secure your offer, and there's a deadline for that as well. So if you don't have, you don't gotta do it straight away. I think they give you three days more. I believe it's 3 days for paying any deposit amount. So by paying the deposit amount, you secure your offer. It's not a very high amount. It's a very negligent amount, but you have to pay that amount. Mostly you can pay by check, and you can also pay by using your credit card or international credit card or debit card on the university's online portal. You can also submit a bank draft. So you have many options for that. No worries. And but you also have the option to arrange your fundings. So you gotta see with the university you're applying, how much is the fees per semester year for that university, for that course. You can also apply for sponsorship scholarships, where if you gotta see if you're eligible. There are many scholarship options. There are Commonwealth scholarship. There's the Duke of Edinburgh scholarship, and there are many other scholarships. And you have to go and you have to explore which scholarship you are eligible for, because scholarships are designated according to, well, number one, of course, your marks, your scores, and also the nationality where you are from. Mostly for India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, for that part of the world, mostly many students secure the Commonwealth scholarship very easily. If you got good grades, you can secure that. So UK provides with ample opportunities for scholarships. Moving on. And this is considered by many students to not be a very important part. Students don't take this part very easily, they don't take this part very seriously. But I believe, as an educational consultant, it is very important to think about your accommodation. Because come on, now you got your university, you made your application, you gave your references, you passed your English language test, and you also deposited the money for your offer. So you're done with everything. If you think you're done, no, you're done, not done. There's lots of steps involved. So you got to book your accommodation. Where are you going to stay? It's a new country, it's a new people, and you got to know where you are going, right? So it's very important to book your accommodation as soon as possible after you get your offer. Do not wait. How will it help you? It will help you significantly reduce last minute stress. Because I have seen many students struggle to receive a good accommodation. If they delay, they lose their options, they don't get the best ones. And if you want to study in the UK, and if you want to perform well academically, you have to make sure that you have a good place, a safe place to live. So most students prefer student accommodations, because almost all university campuses have their own student accommodations, which are I would say more expensive than if you want to stay outside campus. For outside campuses, students have the option to live individually in a house. You can also share your room with a roommate. You can also share a room in a house. So you have housemates. You don't have to share one room, but you have to share a house. Many students actually resort to the third option, which is they want to share a house. So you have maybe four students living in one house. Maybe you have to use a shared bathroom, which is and a shared kitchen, but your room is all by yourself. This is considered the most feasible option For others, you have the option to live individually. If you want to live in an apartment, you can do that. If you want to live in a student accommodation, the most safest option would be the student accommodation. You can also do that, but it's a bit expensive, but it also makes your life easy. If you're staying in campus, you get to use all the amenities of the university provides. Good thing about student accommodation in the university campus is that you get early bird discounts. So early bird discounts means that when you have the option to choose your room, and also you get discounts for applying early rather than waiting for the last moment. So you get discounts, maybe 20%. You might 10 to 20% discount is very normal for student accommodations. So now that you have booked your accommodation, the next step is you got to apply for your visa. And this is something that many students struggle, because by that time you have already passed a lot of things. But the most important thing, if you want to go to the UK, is a visa, a student visa. Good news is UK is a very student friendly country, and UK accepts students very readily. But there have been many incidences, there have been many cases where student applications has been rejected. Why has it been rejected? Because the documents provided were not enough. So before we move on to documents, let's see what we need. So number one, the most important thing is your CAS. What is a CAS? A CAS is a document that your university will provide you. It is a confirmation of acceptance of studies. Now, if you think you can get your CAS beforehand, soon after you receiving your offer, no, you will not. Universities take a long time to process the CAS applications, the CAS document. And it is very important, you have to have your CAS before you apply for a student visa, because this is the proof that the university is calling you to be a student in their, with them. So you have to make sure that you apply for your CAS ASAP, but there's a deadline for that and there's a window for that. So you got to do it only after the window opens. Number two, it is very important that you have the money, the balance in your account to support your studies. In the next slide, I will discuss the money that you need. But for now, I'll just stick to the payment for your course for one academic year is the minimum payment you need to have. So if your course is maybe 10,000 pounds or 7,000 pounds, you have to show that you have that 7,000 pound minimum for one academic year. By 9 months, one academic year means 9 months. That means in the UK, one academic year is considered 9 months. Most courses start in September and you give your finals by July. So you are considered, that's considered one academic year. And another important thing for the visa application, especially for India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka, is TB test. So you gotta do your tuberculosis test, which is a very easy test. It's not very expensive. Your local, there are some registered local health authorities in your city that provides the TB test, which is applicable for your UK visa application process. So you cannot do a TB test just from any healthcare unit. You have to do it from the unit mentioned in the UKVI website. And one thing that many students forget is you have to make sure that your passport is at least 6 months, has at least 6 months validity. Your passport can't expire in less than 6 months. In that case, you will not get a visa. So please make sure that your passport is valid. Okay. All right, so talking about the money, which I said that I'll discuss in the next slide, after 2nd January 2025, so which is just coming up next year, if you're applying after 2nd January 2025, UK visas and immigrations want you to have £1,483 per month to support yourself in London. So don't forget, in your bank account, you have to have 9 months of academic fee for the one academic year. You have to show that you have the one academic year fees in your account, and you also have to show 1,483 pounds for yours to support yourself if you are staying in London. If you are staying outside London, you have to show minimum 1,136 pounds per month. So if I say it's per month, I would again say the safe side is if you show one academic year, 9 months, so 1,483 times 9, do the calculation, you got to have that in your account. And I would always say that it's very important to make sure that your bank account is mature enough. Suppose if you're applying for your visa next month, please do not create a bank account today in December. Create it beforehand, at least 6 months in advance. Excuse me. You have to book your visa application. You have to prepare your bank account. You have to create a new bank account at least 6 months to let your bank account be mature and to show that it is credible. So yes, many students choose to do the application process all by themselves. It is completely normal for them. However, having done it myself, I know the struggles and I know how easy it was for my friends to do it through the help of somebody. So, excuse me, the application process is super lengthy. As I've discussed, it sounds very overwhelming, and I must say it is overwhelming because there are many steps involved. So what are we here for? Even if there are many steps involved, Reset Learning is here to help you. We have partnered with more than 100 universities in the UK. We can help you write your personal statements in the best possible way to create the best impression to the students' admissions department. We can help you fill in your application form, whether it's UCAS or postgrad. We can help you book your accommodation, and we can advise you about which city would be a good option for you based on your personality. We can help do all the communications with the university admissions, because if you remember, I mentioned earlier on that it's very difficult to secure your CAS on time. I have seen students not being able to go the year they want to because they did not receive their CAS on time and they could not apply for their visa. So we can do that. We can arrange your CAS on time, and we will advise all the necessary documents for your visa, because as I mentioned, visas get easily refused if enough documents are not provided. So we can advise you on that, all the necessary documents you need, because even though the UK Visas and Immigration website mentions only a few documents, there are many documents you need to support your application. And most importantly, we are here to celebrate your success. So why celebrate alone? Celebrate with us and your family and friends. And the best part is all the services that I just mentioned, starting from your personal statements, your application form, your booking your accommodation, your communication with the admissions department, and your CAS, your visas, everything, all the services Reset Learning provides is absolutely free. Yes, you don't have to pay a single penny. So we are here to help you. We have we have a team of exceptional staff and members with personal experience and professional experience to help you secure your choice of university and help you fulfill your dreams. And so we are here for you. If you have any questions, time for questions now. If you don't have any questions, you're most welcome to email me your questions in my email address, which is ajahan@resetourlearning.com, and I'm here to reply to all your questions as soon as possible. Thank you very much for taking your time to hear me out today. And don't forget, you will get a participation certificate for your participation. So please send us a mail at ajahan@resetourlearning.com.
Perfect.
Why don't
Thank
we
you
have a
so
single
much.
viewers?
No, we have viewers. It's because this doesn't